This sighting comes out of Navajo County, Arizona. The witness states that in 2006 he was employed as a forest ranger patrolling the west end of the Fort Apache Indian Reservation. He states while sitting by the side of the road waiting on a couple of woodcutters to return so that he could check their permits to make sure they were up to date. Now it was starting to get later in the day and at about sundown, but while it was still light enough to see, that's when he noticed a strange creature that resembled a man, except that it wasn't a man, that the creature was covered with black hair. He also stated that this creature wasn't like other Bigfoot reports that he has heard. It wasn't as big as he thought a Bigfoot would be, that it was about average height and weighed around about 200 pounds. For a brief moment, he thought that he might be seeing things, but it was there. The creature crossed from the northeast and headed west. He said it crossed the road so fast and that he was stunned by what he had just seen. So he drove up to where the creature had crossed, hoping to get a better look at it, but that the creature had already crossed the gully and was gone from sight. He states he never told anyone about his sighting until making this report. He said he didn't tell anyone just because he didn't think anyone would believe him. So he just kept quiet. He says that he doesn't know if what he saw was a juvenile Bigfoot or not, but whatever this creature was, it didn't seem to know that he was there at the time. He was backed up and setting off the road, and this creature was only 100 yards or less from him when it crossed. It was a scary thing to see the creature, and that he didn't look for any footprints or any other evidence because of it. So what do you think he saw that day? Drop me a comment down below and let me know what you think. This sighting report comes out of Navajo County, Arizona, from March the 24th of 2010. The witness states that he was driving on US 60 going toward Shiloh at about 2 p.m. on March the 24th of 2010. The witness says that when driving he always looks out into the tree lines, hoping to see deer or turkey, but that this time he saw something more out of the ordinary. He says he saw a large and tall creature that was about the same color as a Hereford cow, standing halfway behind a large pine tree. Now this witness is a hunter that knows the local wildlife, and that he had driven this route at least once a month for the past 14 years. Now when he saw this creature, he hit his brakes, and then he was perpendicular with the creature, he says, that it seemed to be looking at him. When he turned and tried to get behind the tree more, but he says the creature was way too large to hide. He says it kept its head out and watched him. But he could see both sides of the creature now on either side of the tree. The witness described the creature as being human-shaped, that it also had broad shoulders with muscular, big, and bulky arms, with the arms hanging down way past his waist, and that the arms didn't hang straight down like humans does, but more like a gorilla's does. He says there were no visible neck and that the head was wide, looking kind of like a bump on the shoulders. Its fur was dark red and 2 or 3 inches long, and that the color of its hair was different than you see in the forest. That the color was close to a Hereford cow but darker, and that the hair seemed to be ratty with lick spots. He said he could see the face but couldn't make it out. He says their sighting lasted for at least 30 seconds before moving off. 30 seconds. That's not a quick sighting. Like some sightings from the side of the road, most of these type of sightings only last 6 or 7 seconds. So what do you think about this sighting? Drop me a comment down below. That's it for this one. I hope you liked it. So don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification button so you can keep up with all of our latest videos.
This report comes out of Graham County, Arizona, June 16, 2013. The witness states he was camping at Mount Graham. He says about 1 a.m. he woke up and heard rhythmic tapping of some type. It sounded like it was coming from about 30 yards away from a very wooded area. Within seconds, he heard something walking around his tent. It was definitely footsteps, and they were moving around his tent. He didn't hear breathing, just the footsteps, and it never walked in between the lantern and the tent, so he never saw a shadow of whatever it was around the tent. Now, his sister, her husband, and their son were in the next tent over. Their hound dog was there as well. He states that the hound dog was whimpering, and that's when he woke his dad and told him he thought there was a bear in the campsite. They put their shoes on, grabbed a gun and a flashlight. He also stated that his 3 nieces were in the tent adjacent to his sisters. When all of a sudden a loud scream came from his niece's tent. As soon as they heard the scream, they were out of their tent, with their flashlights shining in their direction. But it was gone. It had to move extremely fast, or they were hiding just inside the tree line and were very quiet. He knew they were out of that tent within 2 seconds of the scream, because they were already getting up to check some noises. The nieces told them later that they heard loud footsteps and breathing. They also said that they heard 2 individuals. It sounded like they were communicating, but she couldn't understand it. She says she also heard them run away when she screamed. So what do you think about this one? Did Bigfoot come to the campsite, or was it something else? Drop me a comment below. This sighting comes out of Navajo County, Arizona, April 22nd, 2014. A witness states he was fishing on Fool's Hollow Lake near Sholo, Arizona, when a storm started to roll in from the east. As the storm got closer, he had become more uncomfortable, so he decided he had to head back in. He says that he was headed west when he saw what he thought was a bear down on all fours, drinking water from the edge of the lake. In the sighting report, he lists some coordinates where he was at the time of the sighting. You can refer to the BFRO website for those if you would like. Report number is 47536. He states as he got closer to the creature, still thinking it was a black bear, it stood up on its hind 2 legs and looked right at him. He says the creature turned away and walked into the thick woods. That's when he lost sight of it. He states during the short time he was watching this creature walk back into the woods, it reminded him of how the creature moved in the Patterson video. And the creature stood at least 7 to 8 feet tall, while having a longer arm reach than a human, with the arm stretching to its mid-thigh area with a slight hunch as it walked away. He also stated that the creature appeared to have reddish-brown hair, with it being about 2 shades darker than an orangutan would have. Now, the witness states he never caught sight of this creature after losing it. He says he wants to stay and look for more of it, but that the storm was right on him. With lightning all around him, he headed back, due to him not wanting to be in a 12-foot aluminum boat. He says he had heard stories of a monster called the Magaloon Monster before, which describes a Sasquatch creature that roams the Magellan Rim. So I hope you enjoyed this report. Until next time, stay safe and have a great week.